everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. Jason Uchida. I'm a doctor of naturopathic medicine and your host of this program. Welcome to Island Wellness, a program designed to educate you about naturopathic medicine. Today is September 26, 2010. I graduated from the National College of Naturopathic Medicine in Portland, Oregon in 1988. I have been practicing naturopathic medicine in Hawaii for the past 21 years. Naturopathic physicians are licensed in the state of Hawaii as primary care providers, just like medical doctors. Let me give you a brief introduction to naturopathic medicine. Naturopathic medicine is a primary healthcare system founded on the honored universal principle that innately the human body has the mechanisms in it to heal itself, no matter what the current status may be. Therefore, the human body is the ultimate healer. Furthermore, a physician's true role is to support this process by using modalities of treatment that work in harmony with the body's natural healing ability. Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, practiced by these same principles thousands of years ago. Well, that's enough about me and naturopathic medicine. Now let's find out if it works. To help illustrate this, I typically ask a patient to share his or her experience with naturopathic medicine so that you can get a better understanding how this safe and effective form of medicine works. Today's topic is psoriasis, and our guest is my patient Annette. Stay with us to learn how Annette has cured the incurable psoriasis with naturopathic medicine. Today, about 8 million Americans suffer with psoriasis. Psoriasis is an autoimmune disease. Psoriasis is an autoimmune system disease, and therefore, according to conventional medicine, there is no cure for it. There are 5 types of psoriasis. The most common form, plaque psoriasis, occurs about 80% of the time and appears as raised red patches or lesions covered with a silvery white buildup of dead skin cells. That's called a scale. Psoriasis can occur on any part of the body and is associated with other serious health conditions such as diabetes mellitus, heart disease, and depression. The other types of psoriasis are glutate psoriasis, which appears as small red individualized spots on the skin. The third type is called inverse psoriasis, usually appears as red inflamed patches covering the folds of the body such as under armpits, inner elbows, behind the knees, and back of the neck, which is similar in placement as atopic dermatitis with eczema. Pustular psoriasis is characterized by white pustules which look like blisters filled with pus, surrounded by red inflamed skin. These lesions are usually localized, covering certain areas of the body. However, it can be generalized and cover the entire body. The 5th and most severe form of psoriasis is erythrodermic psoriasis. Erythrodermic psoriasis is the most inflammatory form of psoriasis and often affects the entire body. It is characterized by its fiery redness and extreme shedding of skin. It is often accompanied by severe itching and pain. Erythrodermic psoriasis causes extreme protein and fluid loss that can lead to severe illness. Severe swelling around the ankles are common and may develop into infections. The body's temperature regulating system is often disrupted, producing extreme shivering episodes. Erythrodermic psoriasis can cause life-threatening infections, pneumonia, and congestive heart failure. The most common known trigger of erythrodermic psoriasis are systemic steroid medications. The typical medications used to treat severe cases of psoriasis are systemic steroid medications, as well as chemotherapy medications such as methotrexate and cyclosporin. As you have heard and seen on my past programs, many of my patients who have psoriasis have come to see me suffering with erythrodermic form of psoriasis after they have been prescribed systemic steroid treatments for months and or years. It is also not unknown for an individual to have 2 or more forms of psoriasis occurring at one time. So how severe is severe? Medicine considers psoriasis that is covering 2% or less of the body as being mild. The surface area of the palm of one hand is considered 1%. A moderate case of psoriasis is between 3 and 10% coverage, and severe as greater than 10% coverage of the body. According to science and medicine, psoriasis and other autoimmune diseases are caused by toxins that are being produced within the body. The body's immune system then responds against the toxins with a type 3 and 4 immune system counterattack. The type 3 and 4 immune system responds by collecting these roaming toxins and escorting these poisons out of the body through its largest elimination organ, the skin. While the immune system is removing these toxins, it also destroys the foreign invaders by releasing chemotactic acids that unfortunately damages the skin, which produces the psoriasis. So because medicine and science understands the physiologic and immunologic nature of psoriasis, the course of medical treatment is to stop this type 3 and type 4 immune system response by prescribing systemic steroid medications, which are also called immunosuppressive treatment. This stops the immune system from removing and attacking these endotoxins, which relieves the inflammation in psoriasis. But if the toxins are not being removed or eliminated, where are these toxins going? That's exactly right. It's building up in the body and accumulating, only to be removed and eliminated by the immune system on another day, when a flare-up can be expected and the psoriasis to gradually worsen and or produce the erythrodermic form of psoriasis. Naturopathic medical philosophy is to look for and treat the cause of psoriasis. The cause of psoriasis we know are toxins within the body. The treatment is to eliminate and prevent it from re-entering or being reintroduced or reproduced within the body. Okay, well, that being said, let's introduce our special guest, my patient, Annette. Annette, welcome to Island Wellness.
Hi, doctor.
Annette, when did the skin lesions first appear on your body?
Well, I've been diagnosed with eczema as early as, I would say, 12 years old.
Okay.
I used to get those little white spots.
All right. Tinea.
Tinea.
Right. Okay. That was when you were about 12.
Right.
And you also had eczema also? You were diagnosed
Yes,
with that in the past. All right. When were you first diagnosed with psoriasis?
I would say about in 2000.
In about 2000. So that's about 10 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Who diagnosed you and what treatment were you prescribed at that time?
It was a dermatologist I saw in California, and I was prescribed topical steroids.
Okay. What happened with the psoriasis at that time?
Well, it got better
It got better?
rather quickly.
Oh, yeah? And you thought,
Great.
magic, amazing medicine. What happened a few weeks or months later?
It came back.
It came back. Did it come back worse than it
Worse.
was? Came back worse. Okay.
Yes.
So that's kind of what we were talking about a little bit earlier, as the corticosteroids suppress the immune system from removing these toxins. We can expect these toxins to come back, typically a little bit worse. You had stated to me that the psoriasis was gradually worsening over time with you. So over the last 10 years,
Yes.
the psoriasis was getting worse. Would you describe for the audience how your psoriasis looked, in which areas of your body the psoriasis affected?
Well, I would get the flare-ups on my legs, but of course to me it was horrendous. And but having seen other conditions, it wasn't, to an extreme level. It was more on my scalp, so it was easy to hide.
Okay.
But it was very uncomfortable. It's something I was very self-conscious about,
Okay.
but it wasn't visible to
Right,
anyone.
also. And you also had some on the hairline area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you have psoriasis on your arms?
My elbows.
Your elbows. Okay, the points of the elbows.
Yes.
Pretty common spot. So, as I had mentioned earlier, the palm of a hand is considered about 1% coverage. So you had psoriasis on both sides of your lower legs,
Correct.
as well as on your thigh?
A little.
A little on your thigh.
Mhm.
So I would say at the very least, it covered about maybe 10% of your body.
Yes.
And at the most, maybe it was considered severe, greater than 10%. So you can feel better about that. I know you've seen some people who suffer
Yes.
from psoriasis that was worse, but your case was considered severe. All right. Most people who have psoriasis complain about the itch. Can you describe the itch for people?
Gosh, the itch. uncontrollable, but it's not something I could take care of, in front of people. So I would just bear with it because it was in my scalp.
Yeah, yeah.
My elbows didn't itch much until just when I started the treatment, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, it was pretty unbearable.
Unbearable itch. So you did all you could not to scratch.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Would you describe the how the psoriasis looked though for people? Because there's a lot of people who really, probably about 90% of the population may have never seen psoriasis before. Would you describe the lesions, how it looks?
They're raised red circles or patches on the skin, and they'll flake. So not attractive.
That
whatsoever.
white silvery scale
Yes.
can flake off. And then you might have some bleeding after it flakes off. And the patches can be as small as, let's say, the size of a dime or so.
Yeah.
And it can be as large, though, as, maybe 12 by 12 and even covering the whole body. They can kind of be so big and start to spread, they blend together.
Right.
Yeah. I hate to do this, but could you describe the psoriasis on your scalp?
Well, since I couldn't really see it.
No.
I mean, just from when I would go to the doctors, they would describe it to me. And so it would be very red, raised, and just itched.
And
really,
flaky.
And
very flaky.
It caused a lot of flakes. So, wearing the black shirts was
Did you do your best to avoid wearing black?
Oh, no,
Because
I still wear
you
black.
still wore black.
But I was constantly looking at the shoulder. You can see those commercials.
Yeah,
with dandruff. And so, yeah.
All right. As well as doing your best not to scratch.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Would you tell us about the headaches that you suffered with chronically also?
Right. Gosh, it seemed like every day I'd come home and say, oh, I have a headache. And, I never knew what was causing it, and got to where you just deal with it. These people think you're just complaining.
Right.
I could take aspirin for it.
Okay.
And that would be
And that would help.
temporary.
Okay. And you would suffer from these headaches several times a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much every week.
Right.
Why did you decide to try naturopathic medicine to help you with your psoriasis at that time? Because I saw you about a year ago.
Just, yeah.
Close to a year ago.
Right.
Right? Okay.
Well, after having different skin diseases, I guess, throughout my life, I had been to several dermatologists. I've tried all kinds of topical steroids and was pretty, discouraged, because although they would take care of the symptom quickly, it wasn't a cure. And every time I'd go to a dermatologist, they would say, there's no cure for this. So the medication got stronger and stronger. But I didn't care, because it took care of the itch, and
Right.
it made the spots go away.
Right.
So it wasn't until I met another patient of yours.
Ah, okay.
And yeah.
And I guess she told you her story.
Right.
Okay.
All she told me was, I see a naturopathic doctor, and he's working with my diet. And she mentioned one food that I guess she was, you were eliminating from her diet. And as soon as she said it, I thought, wow, my whole family had started to eat a lot of that food. And I had noticed I had broken out. Should I say the food?
Yeah.
It was soy.
Yeah.
And I thought soy was supposed to be healthy for women. So we were drinking soy milk, eating tofu, consuming so much soy product.
Yeah.
And my body reacted.
Yeah. Your psoriasis was getting
It
worse
got
at about
worse,
that time.
But I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't meet this woman until well after.
Right. Maybe about 6 months or a year before you came in to see me?
Right.
Okay. So, had you heard of naturopathic medicine before?
No.
No. So it was all new for you.
Yes.
But you were willing to give it a try.
I was.
I guess because you were desperate enough?
Yes.
All right. You had given conventional medicine a try. You saw several dermatologists. used all their treatments.
Yes.
And they did help somewhat, meaning the psoriasis got better, but it always came back, and it always came back worse. All right. What did I tell you was causing your psoriasis?
I believe it was toxins in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And the first line of defense is our skin. And so that's where it was showing. That made sense to me.
Okay. We decided, obviously, to change your diet, right?
Yes.
So would you describe the diet change that we put you on for the audience?
Extreme. Well, first of all, I guess dramatically, you eliminated all sugar.
Okay, yeah. That would be extreme.
It was pretty extreme.
Would you name what foods with sugar are so the audience can kind of understand how extreme that is?
Bread, pasta, rice,
White rice,
white rice,
potatoes,
fruit.
fruit, juice, sodas,
Yes,
dried fruits,
practically everything.
right? Let's see, also cookies,
Cookies,
cakes,
ice cream.
pies, chocolates,
Yes.
as well as breakfast cereals,
Right, which is one of my favorite.
right? Dairy products.
Yes.
Yeah, dairy products as well as alcohol. I don't know if that's something that you drank before, but vinegar also,
Vinegar, even certain vegetables,
right? Tomatoes,
tomatoes.
eggplant, bell peppers,
Right.
as well as the
Mushrooms.
soy,
Soy.
even soy sauce and tofu. Even though it's considered healthy, it could be causing your body some problems,
Right.
right? Mushrooms, coffee, pork, peanuts,
Pork.
pistachios, macadamia nuts, cashews, and walnuts.
Yes.
Right, a lot of foods.
Yes.
So, and I guess you were eating a lot of these foods.
Yes.
All right. So it was a dramatic change for you. All right. What did you think of the treatment on that day when you first came in? You know, I told you, okay, to get well from your psoriasis, we have to eliminate all these foods from your diet because one, they might be bringing in toxins in the form of food sensitivities or food allergies. And then secondly, because they may be feeding something in your body, yeast or candida, which could be producing these toxins. What do you think at that time?
What am I going to eat?
Okay.
So, yeah, it was a challenge, I admit.
All right, all right. And you had just given birth too, months before you came in to see me.
Right.
And so that was a pretty big change for you.
Yes.
All right. But you found your way.
Yes.
Okay. Medical doctors and pharmaceutical companies state that psoriasis is incurable, right? And your medical doctors told you that
Right.
too. And then I was telling you that we were going to cure you with a diet change. What did you think of that?
I was excited. I was ready to give it a try. I'm sure
Right.
there was a little part of me that was a little skeptical, but I was willing.
All right, just a little part of you.
Yeah.
All
was
right.
desperate.
All right, good for you. All right, so you had some hope. You had
Yes.
some hope. All right, very good. Did you believe that you could accomplish that diet change? Because it was pretty drastic.
I was committed.
Yeah. So you were going to do it.
You have to be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, basically you have to be. So you probably had kind of a little bit of a forewarning from that other patient that
Correct.
you talked with.
Mhm.
All right. She must have made a pretty big impression on you.
She did.
Yeah. She also had psoriasis too,
Yes.
by the way. Okay. We told the audience which foods you had to eliminate. Would you tell the audience what your diet was like when you were starting this treatment? What did you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
I ate a lot of almond butter and rice crackers, brown rice crackers.
All right. For snacks, because you can't eat peanuts or
Right.
peanut butter, but you can eat almonds, so you ate almond butter.
Correct.
All right. And brown rice crackers,
Crackers.
because you cannot eat any bread,
Correct.
so you have to put that almond butter on something.
Right.
So it was brown rice cakes or
Yes.
crackers. All right. Very good. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'd have half a papaya, which is what I was allowed each day.
Right. No fruits except for one papaya a day.
Correct.
And as many avocados as you want.
Exactly.
But other than that, no other fruit.
Right. So I ate a lot of avocado,
Okay.
a lot of papaya. For dinner, it was usually, lettuce, cucumber, let's see, and I could only eat organic beef.
Right.
So I had organic beef, I had buffalo.
Okay, yeah. Exotic
And brown
meats.
rice.
And brown rice.
Mhm.
But you could also eat fish and chicken.
Exactly. Had a lot of cod.
Cod, okay. Cod's good, healthy.
Salmon. Yeah, I ate a lot of fish too. So it was really a healthy diet.
All right.
And
Plus you could eat a lot of vegetables besides tomatoes, eggplant, and bell peppers.
Yes.
So you're eating a lot of vegetables. All right. So probably a lot of the audience is wondering also, or thinking, you had to cut out a lot of foods that typically are associated with weight gain,
Right.
right? So you must have lost a lot of weight
I did. I believe I lost 10 pounds in a month,
the first month.
which was a bit much, I think. When I saw you, you said,
Yeah.
oh, okay. That's
Gotta eat more in it.
And I was consuming a lot of food. I mean, my husband is a great cook, and
Huh?
he was
Very
preparing
helpful.
these huge meals, and my kids were looking at me saying, wow. And yet I was dropping weight,
Yeah.
and I couldn't explain it. But
Yeah.
it was healthy food,
Right.
easily digestible.
That's right. I mean, this is really the diet, all you can eat but still lose weight.
Right.
Because he lost a lot of weight in the first month. It's incredible. A lot of people would kill for that. So. All right. So the weight loss was a side benefit.
Yes.
How much weight did you lose during the bulk of the treatment? Do you recall?
I would have to say probably 20 pounds.
I think it was about 22 pounds.
Right.
Total.
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't a big lady to begin with, right?
Right.
Is this like the perfect weight for you now?
Yes.
Yeah, you like this weight?
Yes.
All right, ladies, check this out. You've gained a few pounds back, though.
Yes.
All right, okay. So, and it's because Annette basically has finished the treatment, and that's why she's not on that strict diet anymore. Right, so you can tell she's happy about that. All right, Annette, so tell the audience what happened to the psoriasis during the first 6 weeks of the treatment.
It actually got worse.
All right. Would you explain where and how it got worse for the audience?
On my legs, my elbows, and my scalp.
All right, the same areas.
The same areas.
Just got more inflamed in the larger areas of
Right.
patches.
And even itchier.
And more itch. Were you concerned when that happened?
I'm sure I was, but I remember you telling me that it would, or to expect that it would.
Mhm.
So I had to remind myself of that and not, be discouraged.
Yeah, very good, very good. And the main reason why is because we're expecting the human immune system, or Annette's immune system, to go back to work, because you probably were using some of the corticosteroid ointments on your skin.
Right.
So that's going to suppress the immune system for removing toxins out of the body through the form of psoriasis. So we're expecting the immune system to remove more of these toxins out of your skin. So I would expect the psoriasis to get worse. All right. When did the psoriasis start to improve?
I would say about 6 months
At about
after
6 month
I
period.
started the treatment.
Okay. So how did it start to improve for you? How did it look?
It wasn't scaly. The red patches were gone. It was now just white. Like I'd lost the pigment.
Of the skin.
Right. And it didn't itch as much. So I just had white spots all over my legs.
No. So, but typically that's how the psoriasis will progress. As you get better, we expect that raised, bumpy, red, inflamed-looking skin to flatten out. The inflammation, because the toxin level is decreasing in the body, We expect the inflammation to also go down, so the red skin should start to subside and turn pale. And the flaking should stop because there's the toxin level of the body has been diminished. So the immune system doesn't really have much toxins to attack anymore. So the damaged skin or the damaged epidermis and dermis has lost its pigment, and that's why the paleness of the skin. And we expect the skin to start to regenerate over time, right? So that we would expect the pale skin which has lost its pigment to start to come back over time. All right. Would you tell the audience what happened to those headaches at that time?
They were fewer, and now I don't get the headaches.
You don't get headaches anymore?
No.
So you went from having headaches pretty much every week
Right.
to not having headaches now for many months.
Right.
What do you think of that?
I'm very happy. I'm very,
So you don't have to take the aspirins or
Right.
the Tylenol anymore. When did your psoriasis improve to about 90 to 95% better?
maybe about 8 months.
After about 8
After?
months? So about March of
Or
this
May.
year.
Right. May.
May?
I think May
Okay.
of this year.
Had it ever been that good without medication?
No.
So you always were using medication,
Right.
I guess.
As soon as
Okay.
it came up, I'd zap it. I mean, it just.
You use the medication.
Right.
All right. So you were getting better and was looking almost completely gone by about May of this year. How did that make you feel?
I'm a believer. So I share it with other people. This process, I guess, and I've met a couple of women who have, actually one has it very severe, a severe case, and I was explaining to her, this diet I was on, and she just looked at me and said, "Honey, I've tried it all. Nothing works."
I'm sure she didn't try this diet.
Right.
Though. Yeah.
So I'm hoping I can share it with her someday.
Yeah. Maybe she has that erythrodermic form of psoriasis, the really fury red color, which covers a huge part of the body.
Right.
Can be very painful, very itchy. So, and she probably has used maybe a lot of corticosteroids in her
Yes.
treatment too, and that's probably why it's so bad now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why was it so important to get to about 90 to 95% better with our treatment? So that you could start testing for food allergies?
Definitely, so I could feel normal again. People at work would notice, what I was eating, and they all feel sorry for me, and they didn't understand how I could be so committed. They all just wanted me to throw in the towel.
Oh, really?
It was very interesting.
Wow. So they didn't want you to get better.
I don't know. I think they all thought I was nuts.
Just to
honestly,
try it.
But I stuck to it, and
Yeah.
when I went for my appointment, and you said, "Okay, we can start reintroducing foods now," that
That
sure
probably
my
made
face
your year.
showed.
Yeah. All right. So, well, hopefully your colleagues and friends, they were just thinking, this diet will never work, so you must as well just throw in the towel now,
Right.
and start eating, like everybody else, I guess, more normal food. But you stuck with it, though.
Yes.
Do you care to share why, besides, just you wanted to I guess you just wanted to get rid of the psoriasis.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And I guess I have that personality, if someone tells me it's not going to work or you can't do it, I'm going to do it.
Really?
And so
Good for you.
but I trusted, and I was very thankful for you. You never promised me anything. It was more, you gave it to me, and it was up to me to work the diet. And so I knew if I fell short or I gave up, then I would never know if it
Right.
worked or not. So
That's true. That's true. I'm glad that you stuck with it. But, you know, a lot of people out there, they probably wonder, how strict were you with the diet, you know, during that about 8-month period?
I was pretty disciplined. My entire family was quite surprised. I think they were all waiting for me to give up.
Really?
Too. I mean, they're very supportive.
Yeah,
But they could not believe. I mean, I had to pack my food every place we went. We didn't eat out as much.
Right.
But it was, you know, I'd pack brown rice everywhere. And again, my husband was the best support. And
he cooked a lot of the
he
foods
cooked
that
a
you
lot
could
of
eat.
the food, right?
All right. So yeah, that's great help. I'm sure. What were your family saying and thinking as they watched your skin get better, better, and better?
Well, I think they were happy for me because they knew it was something I was very self-conscious about.
Oh, okay.
So my kids, you know, they noticed I could wear shorts again, I could wear skirts and not, you know,
Yeah.
feel weird or uncomfortable about it.
You know, that's what a lot of people who do not have eczema or psoriasis can't understand, is that self-consciousness with the skin. A lot of my patients who suffer from skin problems, they may have been wearing for many years, whether it's for 3 or 5 years to, you know, 30 or 40 years, turtleneck shirts, long sleeve shirts, long pants, no matter what the temperature is, no matter how hot it is, they're wearing the long sleeve shirt. Were you kind of the same?
Yeah.
And that's how a skin problem can affect someone's mind. You know. All right. I didn't know you were that type of person. You know, somebody tells you can't do it, you're just you're just gonna do it now. All right. Good for you. So I guess you knew you could do it.
Yes.
All right. So you got about 95% better with your psoriasis at about, I guess, May of this year.
Right.
And you could start to test for food sensitivities, which was big.
Yes.
So this means that we get to go ahead and start adding food back into your diet. And we have to add these foods back in the diet one at a time. And typically we we test the foods that taste the best last,
Right.
which you have gotten to now.
Right.
Okay. All right. So when I told you that we could start testing for food sensitivities, how did you feel?
I was excited, but I was a little nervous because I didn't want to have a breakout.
Okay. Because I had mentioned to you that if you were sensitive to a food, your psoriasis would flare up or come back.
Yes.
Right. But you're okay about testing foods?
Yes.
Okay. Would you tell the audience which foods you reacted to and what kind of reaction you got?
Immediately, well, we tested soy.
Okay.
Since I had already had a thought that would be one of them. And sure enough, I had a few spots show up, but it didn't get to that level
of
the
the red.
flakiness and the skin.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. You weren't surprised by it?
Not really.
No. You weren't worried that
No.
it wouldn't go away?
No.
Okay. So it didn't flare up that badly.
Right.
But once you got back on the treatment and went on and tested the next few foods, what happened to the psoriasis?
It got better.
It got better, right. You've tested most foods that we eliminated from your diet now, if not all now.
Right.
Yeah. Would you tell the audience which, besides the soy, did you react to any other foods?
Well, I'm now testing the desserts.
All right, all right.
And I mean, it's not real obvious yet, so I want to say it's the corn syrup.
Okay, yeah.
It's in a lot of these sugary,
Yeah.
sweet.
They're adding a lot of
Delicious
high
foods.
fructose corn syrup into our foods today.
Yes.
Right. So you think high fructose corn syrup might be flaring up your
Yes.
psoriasis. Okay. Were you leery about testing the dessert foods because of the sugars that are in them?
A little bit more so.
Yeah.
Than
But you've tested most of the desserts now?
Yep.
And you started that about like a month ago?
Yes.
And your psoriasis still looking pretty good?
It looks good.
All right. So you're not afraid that the psoriasis is going to come back now?
Not at all.
Why is that?
Well, I believe all the toxins are out of my body, and I have a healthier diet now,
Mm-hmm.
overall, and I'm committed to staying on that. I mean, it's not a diet; it's just a lifestyle, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
And as a result, my entire family now eats brown rice, which is a huge step. But
They're not complaining about that, are they?
not at all.
Oh, really? Very good, very good. Yeah, so I guess you must feel better,
Yes.
and you are eating healthier now, and you kind of like this healthier diet.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so you like this lifestyle.
Yes.
I guess you like the weight loss.
Oh yeah, that helps.
Did you have problem losing that 10 or 15 pounds
After
before?
birth? Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Just wondering, because some people don't have problems with losing weight, and then unfortunately most Americans do, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you did want to lose 10 or 15 pounds.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. You were going through this diet when you had just given birth,
Mm-hmm.
and you were breastfeeding at that time.
Yes.
And we changed your diet quite dramatically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have difficulties in producing enough breast milk for your child?
No.
Okay, because I know there might be some women out there who might think,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go on this diet because it's going to dry up my breast milk.
Right.
Yeah, but no problems.
No.
All right. And you were eating basically as much as you wanted
Yes.
of the foods that were on that diet.
I mean, I was really probably eating more than I even wanted to, just to. I don't know. I just ate and ate and ate. I felt like a teenage, eating like a teenage boy.
Oh, really?
That's how much food I consumed.
And you didn't know why you were eating?
No.
You just were eating?
I mean, well, to maintain,
Oh, okay. So you kind of made yourself eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I guess because I was still breastfeeding too, so I
Right.
wanted to.
Okay. Because I did tell you because you are feeding 2 people now,
Mhm.
right? So you have to make sure that you do eat enough
Right.
so that you can produce enough breast milk. All right. So, a lot of people are wondering, how is the psoriasis now? Because, sure, you could have gotten better for a little while, a
Mhm.
couple of months, but how is it now?
It's fine. The pigment is, I mean, it's almost back to normal.
So
What helps is I can wear shorts now, so
Okay.
we're out in the sun more often, and I'm sure that's helped.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But no one knows that
Yeah.
I even had a condition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know?
No.
Oh, okay. So the white spots that you had on your body because of this the skin damage from the
Right.
psoriasis has been filling in now.
Yes.
So your skin is looking normal.
Yes.
When was the last time it looked like that?
Oh gosh, probably in college.
In college. I don't want to
Age.
give away the age. It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was
Some
a
people
long
might think it was only 5-6 years ago, but okay, it was a while ago.
It was a while ago.
Okay, so are you surprised that you have gotten this well?
I mean, I guess so. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm happy to have met you and that I learned about this diet.
All right. So I know that you were saying that you really believed at the beginning
Mhm.
that this treatment would help you,
Yes.
but you had some small inkling or maybe feeling in you that maybe this wouldn't work.
Right.
I'm sure most people who come in to see me, they probably have a bigger doubt than that, though. But I'm glad you had a lot of faith.
Yes.
But you do have, a lot of faith, right? You
Yes,
are
I
a
do.
religious person. So, did that have anything to do with providing some of the faith for you? Because a lot of my patients are Christians.
Most definitely.
I think Christians can understand the process of healing
Yeah.
or the human body healing itself.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you explain why, maybe a little bit about how that helped you in maintaining faith that this treatment would work?
Well, I guess to back up, when I met your other patient,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I didn't know her. We spoke for a few minutes, and I had actually gone to her home. This is part of my job. I had gone to her home to drop something off, and she invited me in. And, you know, we sat and we talked for a few minutes. I mean, we connected pretty instantly. And I noticed that she was covered with these red marks all over. You know, but she had long sleeve shirt and pants on, but I could see it on her neck, her hands. But I didn't ask. And as we sat and talked, I looked around, I saw pictures of her without that. She was a beautiful lady, you know, and I don't know how it came up in conversation, but she mentioned that she had psoriasis, and I said, so do I. And she looked at me and said, no, you don't. And I said, yes, I do. And she said, no, you don't. And at the time, I probably had 2 little lesions on my leg, which she couldn't see. And it was a blessing that we met, because what happened was she ended up praying for me. And you know, it was amazing. Anyway, a year or so went by. She had given me her card.
Okay.
At that visit, and a year later, my husband was changing out my bag. He had bought me a bag, and he was taking everything out from the old bag that I had had for 10 years and stuck it in there, and he found that card. And that's when I called you.
Ah, you had forgotten all about that card.
Yeah. You know, and was still using the steroids and the you know, everything, and when I saw that card, I thought, and I had flared up.
Oh.
It was awful.
Okay.
And I knew there was a reason. But anyway, the faith, this has definitely increased my level of faith.
In Jesus Christ and God.
Yes.
Yeah.
In healing and just trusting. There is a reason. And so now he's going to use this in my life to hopefully
help others. Yeah, I believe that too. And yeah, we pass it on to other people, like the other patient passed it on to you, and you probably will pass it on to several other people, I'm sure. But if it wasn't for your husband, who was changing out your purse,
right,
you would have just forgotten about that card.
You know what? I'm not sure. As desperate as I was, I think I even tried calling her. I tried to find out, but I couldn't remember her last name.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember calling and seeing if anyone knew at the church knew, and they're not going to give out that information.
Yeah.
So when that card fell out, I was excited.
Okay. It's like, you know, and I know a lot of people out there will think, you know, it's what, you know, what I'm going to say, you know, might be a little corny or something like that. But, you know, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of the patients that come in to see me, you know, they typically are pretty bad off. You know, we don't see the ones that are minor, you know, in case or disease. A lot of them are pretty desperate, and they have flipped through the Yellow Page book, and they're praying to God to show them, you know, give them a message. And for some reason my name comes up and they call. And, you know, and like your case, you know, your husband found that card and bam, you were on the phone calling, I guess, soon after that.
Yes.
Yeah, so amazing story. Terrific. So you didn't know anything about naturopathic medicine back then?
No.
Right. Had no clue?
No.
What do you think of naturopathic medicine now?
Well, I believe that it's something that people need to pay attention to more. God created us this way. He didn't want things that were not natural to be going into our bodies. And so to work from the inside out, I think is really what it's all about. And so I'm a believer in this.
But you kind of had a belief, I guess, in that way already? that
Yeah.
human body can heal itself, or
Well, no.
no?
I mean, I didn't think that way
Oh,
about
okay.
the body necessarily.
Right.
I guess because I had only lived the other,
Mm.
just dealing with the surface.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
And probably you really didn't understand what caused psoriasis before,
Right.
anyway. The
Yeah.
medical doctors never took the time to explain it to
they
you.
said there were still studies being done. It was mainly hereditary stress. That was pretty much the two reasons they had always given me, and then they would say there's no cure.
Okay.
So,
All right. I know you had mentioned it before, but do you believe your psoriasis is cured?
yes.
Yeah. You can feel it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Um, what would you like to say to anyone out there who is suffering from psoriasis?
There's hope. Don't give up. And you don't need a drug to heal you. So
It's not going to.
it's not going to.
Yeah. And that was the main reasons why I became a naturopath, is because of my Christian background. I believe that God made the human body in His image, gave it the amazing power to heal itself. Not saying that everyone can heal themselves from anything,
Right.
but it has the potential, and we need to try to bring it out by helping the human body. Not trying to get in its way, because you've seen the amazing healing ability of the human body now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What do you think of the human body now?
Well, I'm even more in awe of God. How he designed it. But it's truly amazing. And sorry not to get off track, but this diet, or this natural way of dealing with the psoriasis, also cured the allergies. I had really bad allergies, and that in itself was, it's awful to to live with allergies, and I know a lot of people that do. But to know that you can cure that just with adjusting what we put into our bodies is huge.
Yeah, that's the beauty of natural medicine, is that we're focusing on one problem, but a lot of times a lot of the other problems or minor issues of health are resolved too.
Right.
And with allergies, you were talking about mainly you had really bad sinus problems.
Right.
So your sinus problems are a lot better now.
Yep.
So a lot of people do believe foods can cause sinus problems, but they're not sure which foods. And the foods we eliminated, they're a long list,
Oh, yes.
that's for sure, and very difficult to tackle. But if you really do want to improve your health, if you have, whether it's sinus problems or skin problems or lung problems like asthma, which are all related to an allergic problem, you can really help yourself get well by eliminating those foods.
Right.
Yeah. So, I'm sure some people are wondering, we found out that you were sensitive to soy and maybe corn syrup. Why did you have to eliminate all those foods, right? They're probably wondering why. And the main reason why is because we didn't know which foods Annette was allergic to from the beginning, from the start. So that's why we had to eliminate all
Right.
to get to the few, right? So as Annette's skin improved completely, then we can bring these foods back into the body or the diet one at a time to see which food the body reacts to. And I'm not sure which ones the body will react to. I'm not sure how many the body will react to, but the hope is that we can find which foods that person is sensitive to, and then they just have to eliminate those.
Right.
So how is going without soy now? Because you're sensitive to soy. You eliminated it from your diet. I'm not sure if you eliminated it from your family's diet now, though.
No.
No. So soy was a big part of what you ate before?
Yes.
Yeah. I think you had mentioned what types of soy you ate, but would you care to mention it again?
Well, my husband's Korean, so he cooked a lot with tofu.
Okay.
So that was pretty much the big thing.
Oh, okay.
So every soup dish we'd have, and we loved tofu. But we drank soy milk.
Okay.
We had actually done away with dairy
Okay.
and went completely soy. And we were drinking a lot of soy.
Oh, okay.
And or edamame,
Yeah.
soy sauce in the cooking, everything. So that has been eliminated from
Okay.
my diet.
Uh-huh.
So it hasn't been that difficult, but now I'm more conscious about, reading labels.
So, yeah, because they sneak soy into a lot of
Yeah.
foods.
And I'm finding that there's soy in a lot more, and it's usually in the bold print now. I guess more and more people
are allergic or
to it.
sensitive to soy.
Right.
Yeah, so it's almost like peanuts now, right? With
Right.
peanuts, they have that in bold print now. Soy is getting that tag also.
Yes.
You had mentioned when you were talking about what you wanted to say to somebody who is suffering from psoriasis, is not to give up, and also be careful about the medications.
Right.
Fran was on the radio show, the program with us, the television show with us, about a month ago, and she had mentioned, just say no to steroids. Just say no. I'm not wanting to give that impression, though, but you kind of found out how the steroids work,
Right.
or how they don't work,
Right.
because you
Not for the long term.
right, because you saw the pattern.
Right.
You use it, you get better, but
It would come back
comes
worse.
back. And then you use it again, maybe a stronger dosage, and then
It'd come back.
Come back.
So there's definitely no cure.
by
that
using
route.
that treatment. Right. So, a lot of people wonder why I say, there's a cure for psoriasis or autoimmune diseases. But the cure isn't found in taking those medications, because when you take corticosteroids, which are immunosuppressive drugs, it's just going to stop the immune system from doing its job. What we need to do is help the immune system by figuring out what those toxins are,
Right.
and getting rid of it, so then the body doesn't have to deal with it and kill it or get rid of it out of the skin, which causes psoriasis. All right. It took you about a year
Yes.
to go through this whole process with me. So, your first visit, you brought in your young child. Now you brought your child in today, and a lot bigger. It seems like maybe more than a year for you.
Yes, it does.
How did this year feel like to you?
It was a challenge, but I would say we were successful.
You had a good year.
Yes.
I know it was tough, right? 'Cause
It
you
was.
radically changed your diet beginning of this year. I'm sure the holidays wasn't much fun because, you weren't able to eat
Right.
cakes and cookies and things. But you eliminated the psoriasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give up any pumpkin pie for that.
Right. Looking forward to this holiday season?
Definitely.
Okay. Sorry to say our time is up, Annette. I want to thank you so much for joining us and sharing your incredible story with us, and continued success with keeping away the psoriasis.
Thank you.
All right. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us and tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the program and learned something of value. Please continue to look for and tune in to Island Wellness on Olelo Television. My name is Dr. Jason Uchida. Goodbye.